footwork, emphasize this here. Time, and just emphasize this, you know, that part of it. So you do a jab step, working on this. Do a right hand step here, same thing, drop it. Hook step, drop. But you don't have to do any particular steps. You can do whichever one you want, but just, and it doesn't have to be fast. Fast, it looks like this, but slow, you're doing the same thing. You're just not seeing that part, right? Okay, I'll start the time over. All right, time. Oh, and the recording is, it's recording. Cool. Once again, you can, don't worry too much about the punches. You can let the arms drop and do this. Try to feel them stretch too. Let them go so you feel that stretch up here. And then, of course, you can have the hands up, but you want to drop the shoulders at the same time. You're still doing this. That same feeling. So come back here. Drop. I don't know why my feet were so sore, but I did a class. I was doing a footwork class today earlier, and we got carried away and went like over a couple hours. I did other stuff too. I'm working on footwork and stuff. I mean, condition. Remember, like hanging from a string, so you're just letting everything drop. I'm gonna move this table a little bit, I think. I'm more room this way. Okay, that's better. Remember, if you're punching, you're still doing this. Just still drop it. Can you guys hear the floor creaking here?
Yep.
No.
Sounds like a drum.
Say again?
Sounds like you're drumming.
Right. Oh, you can hear it. There's this big creak in the floor, all everywhere. It's kind of crazy. Okay, so let's work a couple of the usual steps. The first one's anyway, the jab step, and then we'll I'm gonna work the sprawl into it later, a few rounds later. So just the normal, or you know, going to the boom, back leg, back leg, back leg. That's either here. Remember doing this every time at the end. Or same move. But it's back to front, settle on the back. Back to front, settle on. So jab step. So jab step on your strong side. And remember to drop the shoulders each time. Time. And the jab is optional. Main thing is the step. And that drop in the shoulders. Keep dropping the shoulders. Keep dropping the shoulders. Always end with that. Okay, you want to come back a little more to the, let it settle a little bit more on the back leg. Yeah. About 30 seconds. Natalia, bring it with the back leg with you a little. Sneak it in, just a little at a time. Yeah, yeah. You can always go back out as you're working your way in. You can always. That's what we're going to work today. The sprawl, right? But yeah, you want to keep that back leg under you. It's really good for the jab, but you talk about like when you want to throw the two, it's really bringing the back leg makes all the difference in the world for the next punch, because like you punch here, which is good, which that's why I always show everything anyway, right? We've done that a lot here. But then you throw right from there, it's like this, right? Right here, here. But if I sneak the back foot up instead of here, you know the right hand is, you know, you got a little step, but you get all this room with the right hand. It's kind of weird how that works. So, oh, you know, it's strange how you can just bring your back foot a few inches and it makes a huge difference with the reach. It's really weird. So let's do the same thing. Other side, on your weak side. So let's get the other leg working. And time. Same thing. Bring it, settle. Bring it, settle. Make sure I always have to remind myself on this side. Drop the shoulders. I've done this in a few weeks. I forgot how much it hurts the leg when you really sink and relax on it. Make sure it's recording. I think it is, but let me double check. Yeah, it is. Keep in mind, there's a world of difference between like this, just doing it mechanically, and actually dropping and let everything like really winding up the back leg. So it's like you're putting your back foot on get set, you know, at the end of every move. So by the time you punch, your foot's already set for another one if you wanted to throw another one. So I wanted to put the sprawl in, but maybe not yet. You know what? Let's do 2 rounds of the pivots first before we do the sprawls. So let's do the like we're doing before. See, this is where you bring the back foot, then pivot. Bring the back foot, then pivot. Small pivot, a little big pivot, it doesn't matter. But yeah, bring the back foot, then pivot. Do that for at least 30 seconds or so, and then you can start once you brought the back leg a little, and then you're going to use your waist like a steering wheel, right? The power's in the legs, especially that back leg which you brought, right? Now you're just going to steer the waist like a steering wheel, and that little pivot with the front foot helps. It just helps. So instead of just doing this, once you have just a little step, it makes. See, I'm just barely moving my leg. It makes a big difference on how big you can turn the steering wheel, right? So you can really get a good waist turn out of this, right? So we're gonna emphasize that just for about 30 seconds. Just bring the back foot and turn, bring the back foot and turn, and then you can start doing whatever you want from there. Turn. Turn, pivot. Right. Make sense? Right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. So, and we're going to do that on both sides before we work our sprawl. And time. So no punches first. If you want to jab your way in, that's fine, but first just pivot. Like you're establishing your defense. I mean, pivot, slip. Because right as you do this, that's going to be a lot of slips. Okay, and you can let your punches go as much as you want to. Remember, your punch is easy. You just kind of do this because as you're turning, right? Remember, dropping the shoulders as you're doing this. Can't see without my glasses. Pivot and okay. And same thing, other side. Remember to spend the first 30 or so seconds on how to do it on our weak side, but same idea. Bring the back leg, pivot, just a little pivot with the foot like that, right? Just a little bit, and then you that little bring the back leg with that little pivot. It really allows you to turn the waist, which you can do without the pivot, but this just makes it a lot easier, right? A little faster. So no punches for the first 30 seconds. Keep dropping the shoulders the whole time. Time. That's about 30 seconds. Go ahead and let your hands keep doing the same thing, dropping the shoulders, but let your hands go. You can keep going with the pivot as much as you want to. So like you can always bring it over here, slow it over here. The same pivot. Or or just a little pivot is fine too. Barely moving the foot. And time. So I'm gonna work the sprawl into there. Mainly, so we're gonna move around. Don't want to use too much energy right on this. Just, I mean, not too much energy, but just not a lot of mental energy on the first part. You're just on this part, you're just gonna let your punches go a little. But the main thing we're working here is basically like it's a lot like the hook step, right? The only difference is we're gonna push off more, so it's almost like you have a wall here or a giant balloon or something, and you just push off of it with your foot and your hands. All right. So we're doing that. All right. So we're gonna work that into our moves. You were working right. All right, so you can jab. What you're doing. Right. Right. And most of the time you'll just push off and you just get whatever, like when strategy wise, when you're using it, most of the time you push off and then just kind of change your rate, like walk off to the side or get out or something like that, you know? But in this case, you can also like push out and you walk back, just start over again, you know? But then when the opponent gets used to you doing that, they start getting, it gets a little frustrating when people do that. I've had people do that too. There's punch, get out, punch, get out. And they get, sometimes it's really working good on punchers, especially who want to hit hard and engage, is pop, pop, then you get out. Pop, and then they get out. They start getting a little, as soon as they get a little bit bored, you can do, and they start doing, they start doing this stuff, like come on, fight. But the second they do that kind of stuff, before they expect it is when you start doing, you can do a couple more, but you see them starting to do that, is when you, you push off and you're out, do something else, real quick. So in those cases, when you start noticing that, you push off, come back in, right immediately. Just push off, bounce right back in. But do it real sneaky. Do it that dark back. Don't do this. They'll see it just kind of. It's just about bringing that back leg, even just for a little bit. It's fine. You don't even have to go all the way back in either, because usually they'll fall in a little. Because by then they're trying to chase you. So even just stopping and throwing works a lot of times. You don't have to go back in. But if you go back in just a little bit, you can really surprise them with some good shots sometimes. Pop, 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 then move off to the side or something. But anyway, so let's work that in strategically. You can put back in, come back in sometimes, but don't do it all the time. Just when you think it's going to work, when you see them bored, you just want to. A lot of times, you want to kind of blunt the opponent's edge, so to speak, blunt their knife's edge. Yeah. And time. And start slow. Start a little slower at first, and push off a wall. That image helps you, even though you're gonna do it with your leg mainly, that hand thing helps you, the image makes your brain able to even make your leg and everything able to do it better, more efficient. Also, you can kick out when you do that. If you have room, kick out. Just one of these kick outs. You don't have to. It's just got options. It's nice to kick out and then just change it up a little. Kick out, go this way. Kick out, go that way. This way. And then, of course, when they get bored, you jump back in. I shouldn't say bored, but I mean when there's a lap in their defense and a lapse in their concentration, you know. It can also just be a little step. It doesn't have to be a big one. You can go here. You can just, it's up to you. But that's good what you're doing. You're getting your body out the way here. That's good. As opposed to pushing back this way right here. Then the hands are still up in case you need to deal with a wild shot. Thirty seconds. That's the other thing. The gym's nicer with the spongy floor. It's all same thing, but off for the other side now. So from a weak side. I'm not used to sprawling from this side. It's gonna be kind of weird. So yeah, start a little slow. And everybody ready? So we're gonna sprawl on the same thing, but sprawl on the other side. Or we're working off of the other side. Weak side. Time. Bless you. I don't know if I've ever tried this side before. Not being a southpaw. I have, but not quite like this, not emphasizing it. And by the way, the sprawl really helps your hook step. It's the same thing, just done different. Because anytime you sprawl, you can just turn after. If they rush, if their footwork matches, and they match you on the sprawl when you sprawl out. Whew. Yeah, that's a strange exercise for me from the other side. I haven't really done that enough. So let's work off of pivot off the front leg now, and then we can put that in with a sprawl a little bit because it's the same move, really, just done a little differently. So we're working on our strong side, right? Working, and then we're gonna pivot off the front leg. So this hook step, but we're instead of throwing the hook right away, we can throw it sometimes right away, but instead of worrying about throwing the hook right away, pivot. So maybe this way, or bring it and then do this way. All right, and keep the pivot going. Try a couple things. Don't just be stuck on one side. We do like some Lomachenko moves. He would do that a lot. Like he's working, but then he's working off the front leg. He'll try to look for different angles. Like kind of like we did in the last one for about the first 30 seconds. Keep instead of punching, just here and then pivots. And then here, pivots. And then we can start throwing whatever you want once you're comfortable turning the wheel off the front leg instead of the back. Turn the wheel. Even just a little step, but if you want, you can do the big one. Off the front leg, you tend to do bigger angles because that's where, like, you know, when the people are pushing through, where you can use this kind of stuff, like touch the elbow and just pivot. Wow. You can go more than 180 sometimes, like just real easy using their momentum, you know. You're here, touch an elbow, follow them, and just boom, right? And sometimes this other angle, just this way too. But just make sure you pigeon toe when you do that. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go this way, it's this way, it doesn't matter. But when you go the other way, if you leave that there, it's not good on the knee. Always keep the foot a little ahead of it. All right, hit the leg first. Don't go and leave the knee. Let the knee go. The hip, knee, and foot are all lined up, right? So y'all got that one?
Yep.
All right, cool. And oh, you know, I just realized. Can I switch my angle? Would it work if I do? Oh, that doesn't help, does it?
Yeah, you can see your legs more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my head's not cut off.
Yeah.
I guess that is better. I'm not doing a whole lot of lateral stuff anyway, so I guess that should be good. All right, cool. I didn't even think of that. Getting used to my phone where the window is.
Oh yeah. Me and Molly did a class on Instagram Live, and you have to film it on your phone. It's crazy this morning.
Yeah, but you can't see anybody else.
You can't see, yeah, right, but you can't see like anything. The screen is like, we had to practice it all with like the screen has no visibility. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can only see whichever window you've.
Yeah, it's like I just was such a small like window of display.
Yeah, it doesn't really work. All right. Let me see. Not a lot of lateral movement, but that's all right. All right, time. Slow down. Very natural. You want to work that front leg, you bend a little into it. So the front leg is always ready to jump, actually. What we were just working, it's like you're always ready to do that. At any time, you can just push into the leg because it's already sprung up, right? But look for your angles first before you start letting your punches go. And actually, we're about 30 seconds, so you can let your punches go, but still take your time. You really want to bend into it because you can always come under that way. When you're here, you never know if you're going to go up or down or whatever. From here, you really only have one. You don't have this option so much. From here, you. If you take your time and let your waist wind up, you can really get some good wind up on these ones, you know, like your hair, like an angle. Or these. Or even here. But work. Play with the angles up. They see you going for the angle and adapt, come back. They see you going for this angle and adapt, come back the other way. Remember, your legs always wind up for a kick out, you know, spring, shit, what do you call it? A sprawl. So you can always do that without even thinking about it. Almost, you can just. We're just not emphasizing it. You don't have to jump a lot, but the legs already wound up to do that. So go ahead. You're really doing the same thing here. That's all this is, really. It's all the same angles and muscles as a sprawl. You're just not jumping back. You're just using a little, like it's that much. And other side. And just kind of take your time and keep in mind that there's no rush. It's just more of a practicing how to do that on an opponent. How to match an opponent doing that, or almost how to make you're doing the Matador thing, right? And you're making them, I don't know if Matador is the right word, like a revolving door, right? You've posted up here. Now depending on which way they can push you this way, you'll go here. If they push you this way, as long as you pitch it toe to toe, you'll go this way. If they push you here, this shoulder's gonna wind up. Wow. They push you here. Oh, actually, yeah, that's not right. They push you on this side. This shoulder's gonna match them up. Wow. Make sense? So yeah, just take your time and work off of the opponent, the imaginary opponent. But you literally almost want to, while you're practicing, almost feel them, their intention, or they're pushing you into a move. But take your time, though. You're in no rush as you're doing that. You're training yourself to not to react like that, but to just enough. You see it coming, and you want to react so that the slip then they almost hit you and give you a layer. You give them a layer of your skin, so you're luring them into it, right? They almost got you, and you slip. When you do that, they're yours because they just knew they had you. I mean, there's always a counter. They can always get out, but I mean, most likely in most cases, that's really all you need. Give them a layer of your skin, take their head off, right? Because they've just thought, they knew for sure they were going to hit you. And right as they were supposed to hit you, that's where you get them. All right, times from your weak side. Actually, no punches first, just unless you're hooking to get there, but there you go. Remember, it's like you're hanging from a string. Everything's from here. So you're posting up, but then you're just rolling like this is a ball. And you just roll around it. All right. Pigeon toes, we'll drop the shoulders. Oh, and go ahead, let your punches go. And roll on them too. You got the rolls, you know, just having your arms up, you can roll them off like that. Control them. If they have their arms here, you just by doing this, you can do the same thing as when you touch their elbows, control them, but you don't need to. You can just do it here. Right? Almost like this, like a ball, right? Just roll, roll. And this is just the same footwork we're doing. Roll, roll, roll. Thing is, as you're rolling and doing that, you can hit them all kinds of stuff almost without thinking about it. You just hit it, hit it, hit it. Right? With your mind here, these just go by themselves. Okay, let's do actually we have time for a little freestyle this time. So I'll just do a round of freestyle, just put it together. Take your time for the first 30 seconds, minute. We're gonna take your time and just, you know, just feel yourself controlling the opponent with your pivots. Here, like rolling with them here. Then wherever your foot lands, you can pivot off of the front foot. Bring it back a little, pivot offside. Sorry, bring it off. Control them, control them, control them. See there? Here, 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 however you want, right? And then just go ahead and the punches, just let them roll after that. All right. So, all right. And freestyle. You can just do a lot of pivots off of the front and back foot, roll. Oh yeah, that's right. Strong side, strong side. Or you know, it doesn't matter. You can go to either side actually. I think that's a good sign when you're southpaw. When you, I went southpaw for a second, didn't realize. You'll notice pivoting off of both sides, it makes that southpaw to right hand stuff real simple. You know, you get a whole lot of more, you get different shortcuts you can use. You know, even especially when you go slow, you find it. Remember, you're not just punching, you're putting them in position first. You're making them go into you make them go just a little off of where they want to be. Yeah. If they're backing up, you make them crowded. If they're trying to reach at you, you make them reach more. Yeah. That sprawl in whenever you want. See, so you can sprawl and land, pivot right away. See, that's all we were just working. Same step, pivot. Just do it with a sprawl. Cool. So I think, actually it might cut us off in a second, but I would suggest doing another round or so just slow down and just same kind of stuff. So actually, I guess next week is Christmas and after that is New Year's. So I guess the week after New Year's.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2021.
Definitely.
May it be a better year for all of us.
Oh God, I'm pretty sure it is. At least for the country anyway.
Exactly. That's gotta, yep.
For the most part, I think it's gonna start momentum. We just gotta push them in the grassroots thing enough to still make them do everything, or they won't do it though.
I know. Yeah.
And if it's bad, there's gonna be 1,000 Trumps waiting.
Yep, exactly. Yep.